What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be breaking down some new crazy set photos for later in the Flash Season 8. And these photos were, of course, provided by Canadagraphs. Make sure you guys go in the description and check out his stuff. So we start off by getting a look at Dion, who returns in, I believe this is episode 15 set photos. We also see Barry holding something, not exactly sure what this is, but it probably has something to do with the time or the timeline given the context of the rest of these set photos, and obviously because Dion, he does a lot of stuff with time. So yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting to see what that is. Now we also see a few newspapers. This one here talks about the particle accelerator explosion. So is Barry like in the year 2014 then when he's reading this? As obviously that's when the particle accelerator exploded, so I think that's definitely possible. I guess it's also possible he could be in the still force, but then if he's in the still force, I don't know why he'd be looking at an actual like newspaper. So yeah, maybe Barry's time traveling a little bit in this episode. But this next newspaper article is absolutely insane. It says Zoom and Godspeed destroy Central City. So now there's this question. How exactly is this even possible? Obviously Zoom and Godspeed did not happen around the same time. So did Zoom come back somehow? Like did he come back to life? Did Godspeed time travel back in time and this is a new headline and the timeline's being changed? Now these options may be possible, but I'm hoping that this is going to be the start or the continuation of the Legion of Zoom storyline. In the comics, if you guys haven't seen it, in this storyline, Reverse Flash basically leads an army of Flash villains against the Flash, and in the comics, Reverse Flash is widely known as Professor Zoom, but on the show, he obviously is not. So if they wanted to keep the Legion of Zoom storyline name, they could actually bring back Zoom to do that. I think that would be so cool. And plus, we've already seen a lot of the Reverse Flash lately, like at the end of Season 7, start of Season 8. So they can make a change and say Zoom is controlling all of this instead. No, obviously this storyline here doesn't have to be exactly like the comic book storyline, which is why, Zoom could obviously be controlling all of this. However, it could also just be like a Zoom and Godspeed team up, or like maybe even Reverse Flash gets thrown in there. We have a little villains versus heroes speedster like war type thing, a little Flash war maybe. Maybe they end up actually doing the Flash war storyline. I think that would be really cool to see. But yeah, Zoom and Godspeed teaming up, it looks like it would be just great, and them going up against Team Flash would be so cool to see. Maybe they'll bring back Savitar, and I would assume Reverse Flash would likely be a part of this as well. But yeah, maybe also throwing in some villains such as Cobalt Blue, Red Death. Hopefully we get a look at least one of those two villains this season. And yeah, I think it's actually kind of funny that my last video was about how I think Zoom could return. In this video, he actually is confirmed to return. So yeah, and something else that occurred to me after my last video is that we actually have no idea what happened with Zoom in the post-crisis timeline. Like, it could have gone down entirely differently. Instead of Zoom being dead, you never know. He literally could have been locked up with Fawn and Godspeed, and I'm still hoping that we get another look at Bloodwork this season as well, because if they're all locked up in Argus, I think it would be like a mistake to not include Bloodwork in that storyline. But yeah, if we just get a Speedster War, I think that would be great as well. Now, as for Godspeed, I have had the theory that he would team up with Reverse Flash for a while now, so I think that actually might be what goes on in Argus. I think they might end up teaming up and finding a way to escape. So yeah, I think that would be a great storyline to see. And I would assume that Reverse Flash and Godspeed definitely, at least have an idea of how they can escape, because they're literally both scientists from the future. One of them's from the distant future, obviously, that being Reverse Flash, but they're still both scientists from the future, so they got to have something up their sleeve for escaping. I think that's got to be, something they go more into depth with this season. But yeah, going back to the idea of a Speedster War, if we see all those Speedster villains, Godspeed, Reverse Flash, Zoom, maybe even Savitar, hopefully either Red Death or Cobalt Blue, and then the heroes side versus the villains could be obviously Barry, but then we could have characters like Wally West return, maybe Jay Garrick, Nora, Bart. All those characters would be great to see again. Maybe somehow we see Jessie Quick. I mean, obviously she's rumored to be dead, but yeah, still be cool to see her though. But here's the thing about this. A lot of people are just going crazy that Zoom and Godspeed are going to be returning, but they're kind of ignoring the headline of this newspaper. It literally says that they're going to destroy Central City, which means I think this is going to be happening in the future, because obviously if Central City is destroyed, Barry would probably also be destroyed. So I'm just going to assume that, Barry's reading a future newspaper headline, maybe maybe he first sees it in the Time Vault or something like that. Now, I'm going to assume that this storyline here, this supposed speedster war storyline or whatever it's going to be, obviously it's looking like it's going to start in episode 15 and maybe go all the way through the finale, episode 18, which kind of leads me to believe that season 9 may actually be the final season. I'm really hoping for a season 10, but it looks like season 9, we know we're getting at least a season 9. But what I think might happen is they might, end up defeating Reverse Flash, Zoom, and Godspeed, and whoever else might appear. And then I'm really hoping, obviously, we're all hoping Reverse Flash is going to be the final villain in Season 9 or Season 10, whatever the last season might end up being. And I'm really hoping Matt Letcher ends up playing Reverse Flash as well. So maybe they end up defeating Tom Cavanaugh's version of Reverse Flash, and then we see that younger Matt Letcher Reverse Flash that finally returns in the finale. Maybe that's going to be like the cliffhanger at the end of Season 8 or something like that. I think that's, personally what I like to see. But yeah, Zoom and Godspeed finally returning. I think this should be really cool to see. Comment your guys' thoughts on all of that down below. What do you guys think about Zoom finally returning, Godspeed? And I'll see you in the next video.